Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your host ID Jester. We're playing Tekhenu Obelisk of the Sun with the expansion, The Time for Set. This is by Daniel Tiscani and David Dirtsey, who did the solo mode for this. Throat's under the pressure. Alright, so this game does take up a massive amount of space, so I would say that's kind of the one deficit with this game is I'm going to have a player board over here on my right-hand side, which has got the new expansion stuff to it. And so I've got another camera set up over here for that. But there's also another player board, which is our player board, which we're going to have to keep everything separated over there to play with these things. And I'm dropping pieces. I had to put my board back together. Something happened when I moved it. Crazy. So I'm going to go over a little bit of stuff, but we're just going to learn as we play. I will be having to reference the rule booklets to get to see how Botan Common does, because we're going to be taking on Botan Common instead of Tutankhamun. I think it's called Botan Common. And not only that, but the best thing about this game is my pillar is all painted and nice looking as opposed to the plain old gray pillar that it comes with. So that's kind of cool. Alright, so let's get to the table and see what we got. So again, here's the main player board. You're also supposed to build like a little pyramid for this guy's AI, but I don't have room for that. So what we're going to do is just we're just going to kind of put it over here. I think we're just going to put it on the player board and just do it from here. So we'll see how that goes. Shuffling up the little pieces so everything's randomized here. Lovely. All right. So basically, this is a dice drafting game with cards. The cards are going to give you, let's see, there are, what's the name of these cards? Good question. The name of them is blessings. Couldn't think. So there's blessings to give you like one-time effect. There's technology cards. Will allow you to kind of break the rules, and there are decrees which they will come out later as we go up this. Now, another new thing with the expansion, besides the player board, there's quite a bit that kind of this adds. Not too much. It's just it adds a variety of different things and different pieces and blah blah blah. One of the things that changes is how you're set up for your bidding for the round, and there is going to be 3 technologies that are going to be randomized, and for our 3 random technologies, we have the Chariot of Ra, the Scrolls of Thoth, and the Spear of Ra. And each one of these is associated with whatever the number is. The AI, since it's going to go first, always takes the lowest number that has a technology with it. So he will take this one as his starting ability. Now the the new artifacts, couldn't think of the word, I'm trying to think technology, is going to be used with the new player board. So on the player board, you can see we have red, which is soldiers, and blue, which are priests. And you're going to be using the soldiers and the priests to do certain things throughout the game. And in fact, there's now the red dice and the blue dice. Red dice is basically, when you take that, it's how many soldiers you're going to add, and the blue dice is how many priests you're going to add. The green dice is always a blessing dice. It's always on the blessing side as opposed to the tainted side. But it doesn't have any special values. It's kind of like a gray dice, but it's always on the happy side. So because I don't have enough room, I'm just going to stack these up here on the side to keep them around. And I want to take the gold, and I'm going to take a gold. So the resources in this game are there's papyrus. Papyrus is mostly used to get there's so much to explain in this game. I keep wanting to say something, and then I'm like, well, do I really want to go into that? Because if I go into that, it could be a 10-minute discussion. But I will go into this. There is a bunch of different gods. There's the god Horus here. And you can see that all the gods are kind of surrounding this obelisk. Makes sense, right? Obelisk of the sun. The obelisk is going to have areas that are in the light, and then the shining of the light, and then there's going to be some that are in the shade, and then some that are in the darkness. And depending on the color of the dice, and whether it's in the shade, or the light, or the darkness, it'll go from either not being available to tainted, which means it's kind of works against you, and blessed. And at the end of the round, what you're trying to do is mostly balance your board. So there's a big balance for each player, and you're trying to balance it. If you're too much in the negative, you can see here, you're going to get negative victory points. If you're in the positive, you are fine, you're okay, but you don't lose any victory points. But the person that gets closest to 0 gets to be first player for the next turn. So you're trying to balance everything up if you're trying to become first player. There are 6 gods around the temple. There's the god of Horus. Basically, when you take his die, we're going to be putting out statues to give you bonuses throughout the rest of the game. Then there's the Osiris down here, which kind of does this kind of board over here. And he's all about building different buildings so that you can get resources and up your production. You will see again on the player board here. Each player starts with all the different resources. They start with the value of 2, but you can up that production all the way up to 6. And that determines when you take a die to get production of that resource, how much of that resource you can store. So that's Osiris down here. Then there's this god, which is Thoth. He kind of, you can see each one of the little areas kind of points to where the god is, kind of like where the god is doing. So Thoth is going to be pointing at the cards. So that's right, he's dealing with the cards. Then next up is Beset, who's down in this area here, and he's all about increasing your happiness. Then we have Hathor here, which is all about putting buildings around the temple there. And then there is finally Ra, who's all about building these pillars. You build the different locations, and then you put a pillar on it, and then you're going to get victory points based upon how many buildings you have in that row and column, and it's kind of an area majority, and you're trying to also get the resources you're building on. So, yeah. All right, so I get a gold here to start with from our, I think this is called an Ankh card. So you can see, depending on which one. Now, obviously, some of these artifacts that I kind of glossed over in the beginning, the artifacts, you need a bunch of priests, which we don't start with any priests. Unfortunately, we do start with a bunch of the fighters, and that's all based upon the cards, the beginning cards that we drew. We drew 2 of our starting cards and the new card, which is what is the new card called? The new card is called cultist cards. Yeah, I couldn't think of the terminology. So now you start with 2 starting cards and a cultist card. So you're starting with 3 cards, you're putting those together, you're getting the different resources and everything. But these cards are pretty cool. They basically give you a bonus for the rest of the game every time you activate it. So we got the Cult of Path, P-T-A-H. I'm assuming you pronounce that Path. Whenever we build a pillar, again, building one of our pillars by putting out one of these little buildings here and building it. Whenever we build a pillar adjacent to the edge, so not in the middle, no, but against the edge of the temple complex, so we get a resource of our choice. And then all the other players get to do something as well. So it's kind of gives us a boost, but it gives all the other players a boost too. That is our special cultist card. So now you start with 2 regular cards and you start with the cultist card. And then, of course, we start with the decree. If you're not familiar, decrees. There'll be more places that we will get decrees, but we need to get our happiness up in the green area or the blue area to get more of these cards. But these are basically end of game scoring cards. And for us, it's going to give us 4 victory points whenever we build a statue built in honor of the gods. So again, building our little statues in honor of the gods are going to be putting it in each of the different god locations, including the main board, the new main board. But you can see he's actually already done that. One of the things the AI gets to do to set up the game when you're setting up with the AI is you're going to add the new pieces from the expansion in to the game, and then you're going to remove some of the random things out of the game. So for us, we added in the new solo technology cards, but we had to remove one god. We had to remove one random god. So we took these little pieces, we randomized which one, and so we lost this god, which is, again, Horus. So he lost the Horus card. So he's not going to be building any Horus things. So there's now 7 gods in the game. There's these 6 plus Seth, obviously, with the expansion called what's it called? The Power of Seth or something? Time of Seth. So there's 7 gods. So you basically take one god out, add Seth into the game, and then you take one resource tile out and you put in the other one. And for us, randomly, it was this card here. And when we did that, then we shuffled up all the tokens and put them out. The number 1 spot was Seth, so because he replaces the god that was removed. So that's this guy. So he gets to put a piece over there at the temple automatically to start the game. So if it would have been, if this guy would have been at the top, like this, then he would just have put this in with the raw section there. So for us, it just happened to go on the new board, which is kind of unique and different, I guess. I should mention I'm playing with all the bells and whistles and all the options. So like there are gods that are printed on the board, or you can use these randomization tokens. So I chose to use the randomization tokens, and I randomized which god left, which god came in, which, all that. So anyways, for our victory, what we want to do is we want to get out a lot of our statues in honor of the gods. And we have 6 gods here and 1 over there. So we're trying to get out a bunch of these because they're worth 4 victory points each. We only have 6 of them. They all take these black resource. The black resource matches up with the black dye. The brown resource matches up with the brown dye. The white resource matches up with the white dye. Yellow resource matches up with the yellow resource. The gray one is kind of neutral, but now with the time of Seth, the gray dye matches with Seth. And you will notice over on his board, you can see the gray dye. You start with 2 gray dyes here, and the gray dyes are going to come over and be on this board now. So the gray dyes are not neutral anymore. They're kind of for Seth. The gray dice are for this. Think of the gray dice as for Seth. Okay? So there is yellow is papyrus. So again, papyrus is kind of about getting these resources down here. The white is limestone. And you're going to need limestone to help build these locations. You can see in the top, it gives you a certain amount of limestone and granite you need to build. The black is the granite. And the yellow is papyrus, limestone. What else? The reds are for the fighters. The fighters you're used to conquer territory. And that's these 6 locations here. There's 6 different locations. You spend 4 of your fighters, and you can take over that location. And you put one of your buildings on it. And it tells you how many victory points it's going to be worth at the end of the game. And also gives you a resource that you can get. But you can only match the dice with the location. So this dice 3 would come here. This dice 2 would come here. You can see each of them have the dice numbers here in the corner. So again, there is a lot to really talk about in this game and show you off, but I think what we're going to do is go ahead and get started, and you'll kind of pick it up as you go, hopefully. It is a pretty chunky, meaty weight game. It's 4.06, 4.6 out of 5. So it's higher than a 4 out of 5 in complexity on Board Game Geek. So just keep that in mind. All right, so the AI is going to be playing pink. Today we're going to be playing purple. So we're going to be playing second. And the AI, again, what you would do normally, and I'm going to show you this the first time. Then I'm going to destroy his thing, and I'm going to start over again. I'm going to kind of show you what he would do here. All right, so we're going to build a little pyramid like this, and then you would put one like this, and then you would put one like this, and you can kind of see the little pyramid that we're building with these things. So when it's his turn, basically he starts here. For the first turn, he goes to the very bottom left-hand corner. And then his next turn, you're supposed to flip this very awkward round circly thing, and if it lands on heads, then he goes up, and if it's tails, he goes straight ahead. I am going to just roll a die. On odd, he's going to go up, and even, he's going to go straight ahead. And so, the second turn, he would either, let's say we roll a die here. Give me a die. Here. Roll this one. And so if I roll odd, he's going to go up. He would go to this one. And the next turn, same thing. He's either going to go over or up. And we rolled a 3 again. He's going to go up again. And then the last turn is even, so he goes straight over. So he would activate this one, then this one, then this one, this one. And so you can kind of plan out what he's doing, but you don't necessarily need all of these out at the same time. And you'll see why when I go through and play the game. So now I'm just going to shuffle this. There are several locations to start with gold already on the board. And I'm sure I'll talk about a lot of other things as we play. So let's just get to it and see how we go. So shuffling these up. Shuffle, cut, shuffle, cut, shuffle, cut. And all right, so the first turn, as you noticed in the little temple, he's only got one space to go to. So I only need to flip over one. And that's the space he's going to go to. And that is going to be this space here. So we know he's going to go to that space. He always tries to take the highest die in that space, which is kind of a bummer because I was planning on going there and using this die. And now he's screwed me out of that die. I am not very happy with him at all. So he takes the highest die. We can just put this on the board. It doesn't matter. We can just ignore it. And what he's going to do with this die, and I'm just going to see if there's any changes to what he wants to do, because sometimes with the new expansion, some of his actions have been changed. This is Osiris. Osiris. I'm going to say the god names again because they're cool to remember. Osiris. So don't see anything in for Osiris here. So I think he's just going to take like a normal one. So what he wants to do is he's going to look at his 5, and it tells him which column. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So he wants to take the 5 column, and then he wants to go to whatever colored dice he took. In this case, the white is available, so he's going to put his building on that space. I started with 1 on here based upon the setup that we did and the random bonuses that I was given. I was given an action on this god, and I chose to put it here and take 2 papyrus. So that's what I did with my starting card. It was a starting card that I got the bonus with. And I also adjusted my guys here. I got 6 fighters, warriors. I don't know what they're called. And then I got to go up. I started on the papyrus. I'm up to 4. So if I try to get resources, I would get 4. I would be able to keep 4 of them. So that's his action. You can just put this die over here. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to keep it aside. And I don't believe he gets anything else, but let's just, God damn it. Every time I reach over there, something's falling. Something's falling. Every single time. Get in the box. Okay, let me just make sure if he gets any victory points or something like that. There will be victory points awarded at who owns each one of these columns. The most piece in the column earns that column. Osiris. Okay, I was just looking to see. All right, so basically, if this space is already occupied, he'd go over to the next space, and then he'd loop around to this one. And if they're all occupied, then he would go to the next row, etc., etc. But that's basically his turn. He's done. He's over with. And I gotta take off. I'm boiling, so I gotta take my shirt off. Gotta take my shirt off. Sorry. I'm boiling. All right. Whew. The lights, the cameras, the action. Woo! All right, our turn now. So we get to basically our choice is to take a die, and activate that God's location and do it based upon the die we took. And then if it was a blessed die, we put it on the blessed side. If it's a tainted dice, we put it on the tainted side. If it's a forbidden dice, we can't do anything with it. Cannot take it. So I think my first action is going to be special. I took the 2 papyrus for a specific reason, and that's for this. So I'm going to be taking this die right here. The blue dice and the red dice are always untainted, which is not good. It means you're going to get a lot of taint, which means you're going to be on the negative side, which means at the end of the round you could end up losing many victory points every time you score in this game. You can lose victory points that way. It's not a great thing. So I'm going to take this 4. And you can see kind of right here. Oh, by the way, when he took this action, you can see you lose a population. I'm sorry, you lose a happiness. You lose a happiness. There's a happiness, which is the little guy, and a population, which is the big guy. And normally you would lose a happiness when you do that, but the AI doesn't have to worry about that because they don't lose happiness. So if we take this action, we will lose happiness. Right now we're on a 5, and this is important. The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm going to be taking this die right here. And now, because I'm using a die of 3 or 4, I can spend 2 papyrus, and I can take 2 cards. So I did start the game with 2 papyrus because I took this action over here, which gave me the 2 papyrus. So I really, really was under the impression I was going to take this. I was going to get this die to do this because there's a couple cards I'm really looking at. The first die, and I keep mentioning this over and over again, is a technology die. So there's blessings and there's technologies. You can kind of see one's kind of a lighter yellow. This is kind of a cream color. These are more of like an egg yolk color. This is a technology card, which means it stays in effect and does things throughout the rest of the game. And this card says, during the mat phase, which is whenever we do scoring, do not lose victory points for excessive taint. So these down here do not count against me. I can be at -10 or more, and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to lose 3 victory points. So what that means for me is I can take all these die that are on the negative side and not have to worry about losing victory points. I mean, I might never get first player, but at least I don't have to worry about victory points. So this is the first card I'm going to take. The second card I'm going to take is this one right here. This says, when producing resources, take the action twice. So when you produce things over here, or you decide to take a die and produce, like if I take this, I could produce 6. I could produce 6 food for me. I could produce 6 food. And then if I had this card, I could do it again and take another 6 die. Now, with that said, you do need to have it so you can store it. So if I had my little cube in the wood space, let's say I had my cube here in the 5 space, I could gain 5 wood or food. I could gain 5 food, but the extra food, they would call that greed because I'm taking more than I can hold, and that goes into our negative again. So all this stuff counts against you for negative victory points at the end of the round. So you can see the difference is if I was way down here in the 2 and I took the 6 die, I'd have 4 extra. So you can see getting these up is what you do with these buildings by increasing your levels on these. Alright, so with all that said, I'm taking this, and I'm taking this die here, and I am taking this production twice. Now I can, because my happiness is in the red area, I can go all the way up to, you can see there's beige area, then the red area. So once I'm in my happiness, I could take any of these cards. And once you get into the green area, then we put more cards out here. And then when people get in the blue area, you put more cards out there. Right now, you don't need to put those out there. That's why we're using them for our initiative. So, is there anything I want here? I can gain 3 population or 3 happiness, which is kind of nice. Oh, you know what? I was going to actually not take this one. I was actually going to perform this with the raw action. Yep. I don't pay the cost. This is the other one I'm going to take right here. All right. So these are the 2 cards. This allows me to take this action, this god action, or this god action, and not have to pay any of the resources for those gods. I don't have to pay the resources for either one of these gods. So that seems really good. So we take a new one of these and put it in there, and we take a new technology and put it in there. That is our first turn. Now, assuming he is here, he's going to have 2 different locations to go. He's either going to go to this spot, or he's going to go to this spot. So again, I'm going to roll a die. If I roll odd, odd is up, odd, up, even, over. Odd, up, even, over. I rolled even, so he's going to go over. So he'd go over to this one. So again, I can just kind of put these like this. And he's going to take a raw action. Oh, you know, the other thing is I get 4 priests for this action. Right? I forgot to even show you that. So for priests, there. All right. And then this die is going to go into my tainted area of my board. But again, because I have this technology card, it's not going to hurt me in the long run. All right, so his turn. He's going to take a raw action. He's going to take the dice with the most. And that is the only dice he can take is this one here. And so now comes the difficult parts. Right? All right. All right, I'm just looking to see what he does with the priest because he doesn't care about the priest. So I'm just trying to figure out what does he do with the priests. So bought in common never gains or spend priests. So he just takes the Budai so I can get them, I'm assuming. I don't see a place where it says like, oh, he gets a victory point for every one of the priests or anything like that. All right. Okay. Nope, I don't see that. All right, so basically for raw action, right, Okay. So now we just need to read the rules on this one. And just see what he's going to be doing here. All right. Yeah. All right, so he took the 4 dice because he had this one. He's going to take the 4 dice. So he's going to take this. He's going to take this tile there because it's the 4 tile. Now, where is he going to put it out there is the next thing, right? So he's going to try and put this where he can score the most points. And you can see he gets adjacency bonus for the green against the green and the tan against the tan. So he's going to want to put this right here. And that's going to score him. Normally it scores him 1 victory point per edge. But because he's in the corner, you get a +1. So it's 2 and 2. So I think he's going to get 4 points. And he's off and running just like that. He also gets 2 victory points for this. So he got 6 victory points for building that there. He ignores, normally, he ignores this. So he does not get that bonus. He ignores whatever he covers up. So you get 1 point for this, 1 point for that, so that's 2 points. And then 2 points for this would be 4 points. So that's what he would get is 4 points there. I'll scoot this down a little bit so you guys can see. So I think he would get 4 points because he ignores all the resources on the board. He doesn't care about those at all. And if there was buildings out here, he might do something different. Where he might go because he's going to get more points based upon if there's buildings built out there. But right now, early in the game, there's not any buildings built out there, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Yep. All right. So I don't think he does anything special. He's kind of done. All right. That's his second die. When I get done with my second die, then we're going to be rotating the board. Or I'm sorry, not the board. We're going to be rotating the obelisk. It's going to rotate clockwise to the next spot, and it's going to change the dice out there. And we do that whenever we have 2 dice or 4 dice. Right now he's got 2 dice, but I only have 1 dice. So he has to wait until I get 2 dice. Then we'll rotate this. So it's my turn is what I'm hearing. That's pretty good. All right. I do like that. I do like that a lot. All right. Remember, we do have this cult of path, which we will get bonus bonus resources whenever we do that. If we build on the edge of the complex. And also remember, we have this final scoring, which is going to give us 4 victory points per every statue in honor of a god. So getting the statues out are going to be important. So determining what location is going to be activated a lot will help you. And let me just look at the rule on this really quickly just to make sure I'm not... Yeah, okay. So I can build it anywhere. So I'm going to take this green... That is a good point. I think... I'm going to choose this 4 tainted, which is going to give me 4 more fighters. So now I am up to 10 fighters. I'm maxed out on my fighters. Maxed out. So I can take over locations, no problems. So this is going to actually lose me a happiness. So that's going to be kind of a bummer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend my scribe. I'm going to turn this 4. Oh, I can only turn it into a 5. Right. I can't turn it because these special, the special green, blue, and red dice, you can notice don't have a 1 on them. They have a 2 and they don't have a 6 either. They don't have a 1 or a 6. They have an extra 3 and an extra 4. So there's 2 3s, 2 4s, a 2 and a 5. So you can't, it says in the rules you can't use a scribe to bump it up to a 6. I can use it to bump it up to a 5. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. That kind of defeats what I was trying to get this. I do want this, but a 4 would give me this. Yeah, because it's the only die I can use, so it's not like I got a lot of choices. I'm just going to build the 4, which is going to give me a gold and a granite, I think these are. Gold and a granite. See, gold. Gold is wild. I don't know if I explained that. Gold you can use as any of the resources. Gold is awesome. So gold is good. I actually have 3 gold. 3 gold. And so I get a gold and a granite, and then my granite goes up 1 and my limestone goes up 1. And then this goes in my tainted area, so I have 8 tainted. And so that's it. We both have 2 dice, so this is going to rotate. We're going to take this and just rotate it 1 section over. Okay? Then we're going to roll a bag of dice. And we're going to draw for this section first. And we're going to add 2 dice to that location. And they are going to be these 2 dice. If one of these has a gray dice, it might come over to this board, but it's not. Then we shuffle these up and roll them. Okay? And we'll reposition everything in a second. Then we do the same thing. We only add dice in the shadow area. So over here is the next one. And we draw these 2 out of the bag. Shuffle these up. Okay. Now, I'm just going to start here and I'm going to verify each of the dice is in the right spot. So this one is in unusable, correct. Red is correct. White is going to go to blessed. Green is blessed. Over there in the shade. Yellow has gone into blessed. Black has gone into tainted. And white has gone into tainted. Over there in the darkness. Now we're talking about the darkness. All right, so gray is tainted. Yellow is forbidden. Black is now blessed. And brown is gone to tainted. Over in the shadows. Brown is blessed. White is tainted. Black is tainted. And that is all the dice adjustment based upon the obelisk and the shadows of the obelisk. All right. We just do that in this phase. I don't believe we do any scoring or anything. Let me just double check. It's... Yeah, every 2 matte phases, a scoring takes place. Matte phase. Every 2 rounds, the shadow of the obelisk rotates. Rotation every 2 rounds. Rotate. Yep, and then we begin a new round. We don't. So that's just a rotation. You do a rotation, and then your second rotation is a matte phase, and you do some scoring. And then you reset this all, you check your balance, you put dice back in the bag. And yeah, all right. I was right. I just wanted to make sure I was right. That's all. Okay. So we continue on with him. So he's going to go from raw to one of these other 2. And it's going to be this one. Or this one. And again, we're going to go odd for up, even for over. So over, so straight over or up is going to be odd. And that is odd. So he's going to go up to this one right there. Boom. And he's going to take this guy's action. All right. He will take the highest die. Now there is a choice. I think he always takes a die. Let's just double check. Yep. So how does he take the die? He takes the highest pure or tainted die. A tie takes a pure die. Okay. And so I thought, so he's going to take the pure die. So I keep calling it blessed, but it's pure. So he's going to take the pure die. That's going to be his third action. And say 4. So he's going to take this. He doesn't need to pay anything, of course. He's going to take... He can only go into this section right here because his little happiness is only there. So he's going to take only 2 cards. So I'll take these 2 cards. He doesn't care what they are, what they say. All he does is he counts them for victory points later on. And then we'll replace those with a new one and a new one. Whenever you take a tainted die to perform a god action, you may spend 1 scribe to also produce resources. Well, that would be great, but I don't have any scribes, so that's not going to help. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now, again, the one question I have about the god action, which is Horus. All right, so it's 1 or 4, or 2, right? I could take 2 and make him. I could use my scribe to bump it up. I'm just trying to see which one of the gods I want to try to, I'm trying to bless. So I am going to take this, if I take the 1 die, that would be this. That's not really that smart. I can't, I mean, I can take the red die, but I don't need the fighters, so kind of a waste. This 4 god is going to be this guy here, which is Basset. I should probably put this right there so I have it. So I couldn't. Now remember, I have the god card that says get a bunch of our gods and statues out in honor of the god. Thing is, it costs 4, very expensive. For the first action, it costs 4 granite to put out. Then it costs 3 granite, then 2 granite, then 2, then 3, then 4. So it goes from real expensive to cheap, and then back up to real expensive. So if I'm going to get a free action, I'm going to spend it now when it would cost me 4 to spend it. So I'm going to spend it. I'm going to activate that action. Now the question is, which one of these gods do I care about? Because whenever I or the AI activates that location, I will get a resource. Getting lots of cards is nice. I will be activating this location quite a few times. The problem is, I know the AI doesn't have this card because that was the god that was randomly removed. So he's not going to build any gods. So building my god there is not really great. So the 1 die would match up with the guy that's over here, Seth. He's already taken. The 2 die matches up with this guy, which is the building actions, which, if you're smart, you'll take a bunch of building actions. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the 2. I don't need the fighters. Put it on my tainted side. And I'm going to build here. And instead of it costing me 4 resources, I'm going to play this card right here, which will perform a raw or horse action with do not pay the cost. Freebie. Free to me. Seems pretty good. Normally when you put it out you get the bonus, but not when you play solo with 2 people or with just 2 people. But now if I activate it, I can activate it or the enemy can activate it if you're playing with 2 people. So that is our 3rd dice. Now we come down to the last move, which is going to be this or this. He's going to be doing one of these god actions. Again, odd is up. And he does go up, so he's going to be performing this action. This will be his 4th die. He's going to take this one because it's the only one that's available in there, which is a 3. Alright, so now we need to see what he's going to do and where's he going to put it. I think he's going to put it... Let's see. I think he's going to put it... He's going to score 3 victory points. So, he's going to put a building. He's either going to put it here or he's going to put it here. Because either one is going to be in the row or column. So we're going to say odd, even will go to the other spot. Odd. He's going to build it right there. So that's going to give him 3 victory points for having his pillar in the same spot. Normally he would get, normally if a person builds it, you're going to get 1 of each resource in your row or column. He ignores all of that. And then you adjust your population marker based upon the die. He took the 3, so he's going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. He's up into the green. So now we need to put out green cards. So we get 1 of these. A technology. And a decree. Gain 2 victory points per statue and 2 victory points per building around the temple complex. That'd be a nice decree to have. Now with the decrees, you can see there's a special symbol on the top of each of them. You can only score each symbol once. So you can see my decree has this little eyeball symbol on it. So I could score both of these because they're different symbols. I think there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 different symbols we can look. There's a mountain, a bird, a vase, a little hat, a cat, this little squiggly sign, eyeball, cat, eyeball, camel, bird, we already said that, a little hat dude, a little S symbol. That's probably, so there's about 5 or 6 different ones, okay? So you can score 5 or 6 different victory point things at the end of the game. If you're so inclined. Alright, I just wanted to shuffle these back up. Okay, back to our last turn before we have another rotation. There'll be some scoring and bad things will happen. Alright. Oh, we forgot to fill up that section there. I think everything slides down and then you always fill over from there. I would like to take this guy's action, to be honest, and build another big building. I really want a big black one because we're going to need a ton of that. To be honest, I could put out another one right now. Might not be the worst option in the world. I have a gold and I have a... It's going to cost me 2 gold and a granite. So I think I am going to do that. We'll take the 4 dice. And that's going to match up with Beset. Put that right there. Put this on my player board. And we are done. Okay, so now we need to go through this again. We need to go through this. This is going to be a Mott rotation, though. So there's rotations now. All right. So after a second rotation, so we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to rotate this. One more space, like that. All right. That's been rotated. We each have 4 dice on our board. We're going to take these dice back. He doesn't adjust for balance. He automatically in round 1 he goes to 3. So if you get less than him, congratulations, you're going to be in first place. For us, we have 4 in the good side with 8, and 10 in the bad side. 4 in the good, 10 in the bad means we're at -6. Which means normally we would lose 2 victory points, but we have that special ability that we can ignore that. So then we calculate who's closest to the 0. He's first, so he gets to stay in first. And second. Okay, so we return all of these cards again back to the initiative pool. We take all the dice, we add those back to the bag, which is over here. We shuffle them up. We shuffle his tiles up as well. And then we'll do him in a second. What we're going to do is we're going to do shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And we're going to draw 2 cards out for this side right here. And it's a gray, so we look over on the player board if there's a spot available. There isn't, because there's still 2 over there. Nobody's taken that action yet. I probably should take it. I've got a boatload of fighters, so I should take it. So... A 5 and a 4. Okay. And then for this spot over there. All right. And then we do the same thing with. Wait. No. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Yes, right. I forgot to put mine back in the bag. Hang on. It should be 8 dice going back in the bag. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes, okay, my bad. I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong here. Haha, now I know what's wrong. I forgot to put my dice in the bag. Shuffle them all up. Let's do that again. All right. I'm like, something's wrong. I should have dice left in the bag. All right. First 2 over here again are going to be these 2. All right. And then for that side over there, okay. And then what we'll do is we'll start right here in front of me. So we got unavailable. Black is there and brown is there. You are black is this, gray is this, brown is this. You are white, you are there. You are yellow is now tainted. Black is unavailable. And white is pure. And then the shadow over there is going to be good. You're going to be tainted. You are also going to be good. And then here, black is good. Brown is tainted. And I believe everyone is back to square one. Whew. We still have dice in the bag. We'll shuffle his deck up. Boom, boom, boom. Then we get new Ankh cards. We get basically start of the round cards. Now he always does the same thing. Because we have a 0 with an artifact. Put these out there. A 1 without an artifact. A 2 with an artifact. And a 3 with an artifact. He always chooses the lowest number that has an artifact. That's what he's going to do. Boom. Now it's our turn. Now we actually have, if we remember, we got some of our priests here. We actually have 4 priests. Which means we could get one of these special abilities. This one costs 5. This one costs 4. We can take the Spear of Ra. And we can take a Seth action of any value. Take a Seth action of any value. So, let me just look and see. Like, is that, like, do we still take a tile? What are we doing here? These are technology cards. Okay. This is artifact card. This is Scrolls of Spear of Ra. So it says, remove this card from the game to immediately take a Seth God action as if you draft a die with the value of your choosing. As if you draft a die. So you can like take another action with this as... Okay, alright. So it's like basically a free action. Dust Glasses are for priests. I am going to take this. So normally each of these you get a bonus. Whenever you take you take the artifact card, you ignore this bonus, you don't get it anymore. All you do is get to use this. These are always I believe one and done. So we're just going to use this card as a reminder that we can take that action sometime during the game. And then the rest of these are just going to be put over here for now. Alright, where we're shuffling his deck up, making it nice and random. So he gets a new group of enemies. Alright, here we go. So he's still in first. He's going to go and take this. Oh, he's taking Seth action. Oh, he's taking the new Seth action. Okay, so this is brand spanking new. Alright, so he's going to take the highest die. Alright, so Button Common takes the highest value die from the Seth board and constructs a building in the corresponding region. So he is going to build... I should have went over there. I knew it. He's going to put this right there. He's going to take this die. Alright, then he is going to take, so whenever you build out here, you take a conquest tile, and we're going to be putting this on the Wrangler board anywhere that's available. And basically it's going to cover up other things there. And so he wants to put this... So wherever he would score the most points if he built with the raw action. So if he was to take the raw action and put another piece down there, where's the most? Well, it's any one of these. I think space is any one of these. Now technically he could score pieces for being adjacent here, and he could score for being adjacent here as well. So he scores 2 victory points for putting that out there. So he's up to 19 already. What the hell? So where is he going to put this conquest token? That is a great question. The annals of man would love to know. So, right. So if he was to take the raw action, let's just look and see. So you score one point per building, regardless of ownership, in the same row or column. Score 1 victory point for every edge that matches. Yeah, I don't think it matters to him. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Reroll a 5 and a 6. So 2, he's going to put it right there. Sounds good. Maybe that makes a difference, but I don't see how. But all right. So. Lots of choices right now, which is interesting. There's only one more god die, which is not the greatest, but I am wondering if I take that, do I also have to? Oh, Cyrus, where are you? There you are. Okay. All right. So yeah, I can. Okay. So I am definitely going to be taking this die right there, and we're going to be putting it right. Do we want the bread? We do need bread because we're going to be scoring buildings. We're going to need bread. I do have 1 gold right now, but getting this would be huge, so we can get a whole bunch of that stuff. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So that takes my granite up to 5, and I get 2 granites. So now I've got 2 granites, and I can hold 5 when I earn the resources. I do lose a happiness, so happiness keeps plummeting. But this is on the happy side, the bless side, and so that is that. I am done. So he is going to move from there to there or there. Again, odd will be up. Even, he's going to go straight over. So he's going to take the. Oh, he's going to take the. Oh, wait a minute. I have a thing there, and now he's going to do it as well. So that's great. Hang on a second. So when somebody takes my action, I get a bonus for having that there. What is my bonus? I think that's what these are here. right? So I get a papyrus or a food. I'm going to take a food. Now he's going to do the same thing. I'm going to take an... Ooh. I'm going to take another food. Papyrus or food, yeah. Alright, so he's taking this action. He takes the biggest die. If there's a choice, he's going to take, I believe, this one. So 4, he's going to go in the 4 column. He's going to go to the black area because that's the die he took. He doesn't lose happiness because he's a dummy. And I took my bonus. Right. I think that's what these bonuses are. When you have the temple in honor of the god, then you get to activate that bonus. Alright, our turn. And then we're going to have a rotation again. And I'm thinking about it. I'm going to... when he put his building out there, hang on a second. When he put his building over here, he had this guy here. So that might give him something. Yep, alright. I mean, maybe he does. But anyways, I am going to take this and I'm going to change this 2 die. I'm going to use a scribe. I'm going to change it into a 4. I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to put our little building down there. So the scribe went away. And I'm going to get 2 granite. So now I'm starting to get a boatload of granite, which is nice. Got 4 granite. I could get limestone. Limestone would help us build the building for Rob, but... Alright, then we take... Oh, we should have had this face up, but I didn't. I always have this one face up. You don't get the victory points until the end. It costs you 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're back down to 6 fighters there. And then this we can put out on the board anywhere we want to cover up something or... you know what? I might go there. Let's go there. If I build the thing adjacent to the edge, I can build it there. And I can build a building out there and get a lot of good resources. That'd be a ton of resources. It's going to cost me 3 food. So that's my 4. And they are always tainted. So we each have 2 dice, so we do a rotation. Just like that. Alright, and then we get 2 dice in the bag. And we look at the area to the left. We draw 2 dice. If any of them are gray, they would come over to the board, but they're not. And these guys we know are always tainted. Then we're going to draw 2 for that side over there. Okay. Unfortunately, we didn't have any gray dice go in the bag, so we just took the actions. So all the dice that took the action are out in play, so we didn't have any to draw. So, all right, so we each have 2 dice. So we did the rotation, blah, blah, blah. And now he's moving on to the next action, which is that or that. Again, odd is up. He's going to go up, so he's going to take a resource. He's going to try and take the highest white dice is this one right here. So he's going to take this one. And that is the raw action. The 4 dice is going to be this one. And where is he going to put his little... Probably right there. I think he's going to get some points for that. He's going to have 1 point for Jason, 3 points for the building. I guess I should be building some stuff over there. Oh my god. What is this? This is this guy. No, it's raw. That's who it is. It's the raw here, this guy. He scores a victory point for building. 1 for this, 1 for this, 2 for that, so another 4 points. And this slides over, gets another one of these. Yeah, we should probably get in on that action, I think. But we're going to have to feed our people. We're going to have to feed our people at the, I think coming up is the halfway point. So that was his 3rd dice, and I take a 3rd dice, then we take a 4th dice, and I take a 4th dice. Then it's halfway through the game. And that's when we, I think, have to score and feed our people and do everything. Let me just make sure I am not going crazy, which is a possibility. You have a rotation. Every two rotations, you have a mat phase. Every 2 mat phases takes a scoring phase. And after the second scoring phase, the game is over. Yeah, so you take 2 rotations to get a mat, 2 mats to get a score, and then that's like the halfway point, and then you do it again. Okay, I was right. Great. All right. So we're going to have to feed our people in a minute. Right now it's going to cost us 2 food, which we actually have 2 food because I'm smart. We can get some more priests and get another bonus. That'd be awesome. Yep, I'm going to take the 5 dice. That's going to give me 5 priests plus the 4 I'd spin all 4 of them. So I'm just have 5 priests. I forgot. I bought that card. Right. Okay. So I get 5 priests. Then I'm going to be able to put this at this god. Is going to cost me 2 granite, which I have. And I'm going to put this right here. And that's it. And this is a negative dice, right? Okay, back to his last action before scoring. Another tile or a... He's going to be going for resources here. Where's my... Here it is. Eve, odd is up. Odd is up. Odd is up. So he's going to go after the black. Highest black die out there. That is... This one is unavailable. So it's these two are tied. He would go to wherever he has a statue. Then he would go to wherever we don't have a statue. Those are all tied. I don't know how he determines after that. We're just going to go odd, even. Even. He's going to take that. Oh, come here, you. Alright, so he's going to take this die here, which is going to give him a scribe. He does keep scribes, so he will take a scribe. He will take a scribe. Does he do anything else? Oh, I think he moves his population up. Right? That's kind of what you're doing there. Let's just make sure. Yeah, he chose a 4 dice, so he moves it up 4 spaces. Population. Where's that happiness? Happiness. He moves his happiness up. So he moves it way up there. Okay. And gets a scribe, and then that's all he does, I believe. So we're going to have Wes chance to do things. I've got food to pay. Again, I don't have to worry about the negative thing. Negative points. We're at -4. So if I was to take a +4, I would end up at 0, and I'd be able to steal away the initiative. I don't know how important that is. Could be important because I think you get 3 points if you're in first place. Whenever we score, you get 3 points. So that sounds important. So I'm going to be, if I take this one, spend 2 papyrus, which I don't have. Oh, when he took this action, I should have got a bonus. I should have got a gold. So now I actually have 2 gold. I could do this action. But I can only take these cards because my happiness is dropped. Unfortunately, it's the only die that I can take. Yeah, I need to get my happiness up. Happiness up is this guy here. So we're gonna do that. Or, you know what? Maybe it's population. Yeah, it costs us a bunch of food. I don't have the food right now, so... Maybe we... Yeah, we're going to take this negative die. And we're going to build here. And we're going to get a gold and a food. Gold and a food. Alright, and our gold and papyrus each go up. Gold and our papyrus and food go up. So our papyrus is at 5. Our food is at 3. Our limestone is at 3. And our granite is at 5. So we got a lot of resources we could get. This goes in the negative, so we're not going to get that. That goes there. Okay, so let's go to the scoring round. All right, so what we rotate this. Just like that. All right. So it's been rotated. Each player is going to balance their scales. I'm going to have -8. Oh, the other thing is, whenever you build a building over here, and that's why I have them out here to remind me, and I completely forgot, every time you build a building over here, you got to take one of these and put it on your player board as a negative point. It's a taint. It's a taint, and it stays out there for the rest of the game. So we'd be at -9. So we had this positive. This is at negative. But we also had the blood on the negative. So these would wipe out. We'd be at -9. So we would be here. We would lose 3 victory points. Fortunately for us, we have, and this stays on our player board, we have the thing where we can ignore that points. Right. So he's going to obviously be at the 1. We're going to be at the -9. He's going to stay in first place. And I think that's 3 victory points. And that might just be at the end of the game, but let's see. All right, then all of our dice go back to the bag. Now we got a bunch of grays, so maybe more gray will come over there. We shall see. Okay. Scoring. So each one of these districts, we're going to score, each one of these is 3 victory points. So we're going to win this one and this one. That's 6 victory points. He wins this one, so that's 3. And then we each have one in that column, and I think it's whoever's higher. So I think he's going to win it. Yep, so he's going to get another 3. All right, so he's at 32. Great for him. All right. So each building counts as one. Scores for each building and statue. And then so he's going to score one for this. This one's going to score one. This one's going to score one. So he's going to score 3 more for that, I think. Oh, each player scores victory points for having built statues. I have built 3 statues. I get 6 points. He has built 1 statue. He gets 1 point. Each player receives where their happiness marker is, victory points equal to the little number there. And so nobody's got any. You have to have at least this before you get 1 point. So nobody gets that. Each player would score victory points if you have 6 production. I don't have 6 production on anything yet. We score victory points based on the victory point. Some of the victory points visible on the building row. That's nothing. And then each player must pay bread. And I have to pay -2 bread. So I will pay my 2 bread. Alright, then you can adjust this and this again. So this here shows you when, so you count 1, 2, 2 more turns. And then 2 more from that. Something like that. What was it? Probably in the setup. Oh, it was 4 areas. Right. So from wherever it started was here, right? And then this is here. And this shows us where you get your first scoring. And then when this gets all the way back over here, it'll be game over. So it's basically going to turn 4 more turns. 4 more times. Alright. I'm just saying this is a pretty complex little game, but it's not super hard to understand how to play it. That is for sure. So we're halfway through, and I think, let's see what we're doing time-wise. Almost an hour and a half, 40 minutes. Yeah, it's only like a 2 to 2.5 hour game, but I have to keep looking up the rules. I'm just not as comfortable with the rules. I think I know them, but then I forget things and I want to double check. Am I talking about that? Oh, shoot, I forgot about the blood, things like that. I think all in all, I think we're doing a pretty good job, but it has been a little bit slower than normal. A little bit slower than normal just because we've had to look up some stuff. Take some time with that. If we didn't have to do that, it would go a little bit faster. But I think what I will do is call this an episode. I'll debate about whether I'll do part 2 or not. If you see part 2 on the channel, then we did it. If we don't see part 2, then we didn't do it. I'll have to debate on whether or not I'm going to keep and, do another session of this or not. But I do need to check in on the wife and make sure she's doing okay. See if there's anything she needs. It's been, quite a while. She's been by herself. So I just want to make sure she's okay. So everyone, thanks so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Great, great game. It's just one of these games. You have to play it and get familiar with all the rules and everything, so that way you can start flying through the game and it would play so much easier. In fact, I would even go as so far to say playing this two-handed might be a little easier than doing it with the AI. The AI does have some wackiness, a little bit of wackiness to it. I understand what it's doing, and it does it pretty decent. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It is really, really good for as complex as the game this is. And obviously, if you're playing two-handed, you get a lot easier to make decisions and do things and not have to try to figure it out. You can kind of figure it out as, what you're doing every turn. So anyways, thanks everyone for joining me. Don't you forget, thanks so much for coming by. I do appreciate it. We will see you all down the line, though. You take care of yourself.